Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was featured in yesterday's news because of an Instagram video in which she described the harrowing details of her Insurrection Day experience this past January 6th. The gist of it was that she thought she might die since the Donald Trump-inspired MAGA terrorists were basically just outside the door where she was hiding, and she could hear them actually looking for her. In her chart, you can see that while the transiting Pluto is now 4.5 degrees past the square to her Sun, the transiting Sun, January 6th at 16.5, does something I've seen many times in transiting cycles, namely it pulls the Pluto effect back to near 20 degrees by forming a midpoint in that range. This puts the two planets in a direct square to her natal Sun, while the transiting Moon around midday, January 6th, is directly over her Sun and therefore makes a square to those 2 points. Meanwhile, the transiting Mars, January 6th, was at the very end of Aries and would actually go into Taurus even as the attack was taking place, and this happens to be in a more or less precise 135-degree aspect to her ascendant, the irritating sesqui-square aspect, the square and a half. The symbolism is pretty clear in that Mars and Pluto are very good reflections of violence, terrorism, fear, and even death itself, but the aspects being made are not really strong enough to correlate with getting in serious trouble, as in being taken hostage or physically harmed or worse. So the bottom line is, she experienced a lot of fear and discomfort, but escaped unscathed. During her video presentation, she also brought up the fact she is a survivor of sexual assault. Astrologically, I correlate this with transiting Mars, now opposing her 12th house Pluto from 13 plus degrees of Taurus. When revealing this tragic past event in her life, in a matter of seconds, her words effectively indicted the 45 Senate Republicans who, despite clear evidence of Trump's guilt in the ultra-dangerous and extremely reprehensible events of January 6th, are prepared to let him off the hook while basically saying, we should just forget about it and move on.
I'm a survivor of sexual assault. And I haven't told many people that in my life. These folks who tell us to move on, that it's not a big deal, that we should forget what's happened, or even telling us to apologize, these are the same tactics of abusers. These people are just trying to tell us it's not a big deal. And they're trying to say, you're making too big a deal over it. These are the tactics of abusers. Or rather, these are the tactics that abusers use. And so when I see this happen, how I feel and how I felt was not again.
Alexandria has many of her planets in a Grand Cross formation, and this can be difficult to manage and given to possible episodes of terrible luck earlier in life. But if a person like this starts to find their way, as their confidence grows, they become high achievers, involving lots of dynamism and focused action. Alexandria is young, smart, and highly effective, and to the great chagrin of many in the now rapidly devolving Republican Party, she is sure to be an important influence in the Democratic coalition for years to come.